And it's my honor tonight to recognize and introduce to the podium someone who was really at the tip of the spear. When it wasn't easy to fight this fight, he was at the tip of the spear fighting it, not just for kids here in Ohio, but for kids throughout the United States of America. We as a city and we as a community are better because we had George Voinovich as a leader. While he needs no introduction, I'm going to give him a short one. Since his days as mayor, when he coined the phrase, "Together we can do it," Senator Voinovich has worked tirelessly on behalf of our community, state, and nation, the kids of our country, to make all ships rise. He became the legislative champion for school choice in January of 1995 when he announced a school voucher plan as part of a package of statewide educational reforms. The Ohio legislature chose to limit the school choice plan to the troubled Cleveland public school system at the time and approved the Cleveland Scholarship and Tutoring Program later that year. For his efforts in achieving that victory, Senator Voinovich rightly earned the title of Father of the Cleveland School Choice Program. He's been a mentor to so many of us, and for those of us like myself and my sister and my entire family who grew up here in the Cleveland area, and we're not going anywhere. We're grateful to have had a mayor, governor, senator, and leader such as George Voinovich. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause.
Good evening. I want to thank Josh for that very, very kind introduction. And Josh, when you get to Washington, I know that you will support the DC Opportunities Scholarship Program, which came out of the subcommittee I chaired as Governmental Affairs Committee. It was called the DC School Choice Incentive Act of 2003, and Ken, the inspiration was the fact that the Supreme Court ruled that it was okay. It was a three-part sector approach that authorized funding to better the district public school, charter school, and non-public schools. And I must say to you that when our president came into office, he fulfilled a promise to the National Education Association and fought the appropriations for this program. And I must tell you that it disturbed me a great deal because his daughters had the opportunity to select and the choice to go to a private school. And thank goodness, because of the leadership of John Boehner, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the program was reauthorized for 5 additional years. And Josh, I hope that we can count on you to make sure the money is appropriated to fund the authorization. The battle isn't over, folks. This was a big deal at the time with the National Education Association. And in 2004, when I went before their screening committee to get their endorsement, I was told that, you know, you did a better job of presenting your program than your opponent. But we want you to understand, Senator, that we were told in Washington there's no way we will endorse you for re-election to the United States Senate. We got the same reaction in 1995 when the Commission on School Choice, chaired by Dave Brennan, issued their report, the Ohio Scholarship Plan, the Cleveland Scholarship and Tutoring Plan. It was a miracle that it passed the General Assembly. And it wouldn't have happened, and I pointed out to Joanne Davidson, who was Speaker of the House, it wouldn't have happened if we had not had a change in the membership of the House of Representatives. There was no question we got support from many of the Democrats that were there, but without the change in leadership, it wouldn't have happened. That's it. And what it did was it provided the first in the nation to permit parents to choose the best public, private, or parochial school and pay any required tuition with a tax-funded scholarship. It also gave an equal number of tutoring scholarships to students who chose to remain in the public schools. We forget about that. Part of the program, do you recall, was a tutoring program that said if you want to stay in the public schools, we'll give you a scholarship so you can upgrade your skills. We were saying you can stay there and get special help so you can do better. The maximum scholarship at the time was $2,250. Let's go fast forward 5 years and tons of litigation. The Zellman versus Sims-Harris case that was decided on June 20th, 2002. The day it was announced, folks, in the Financial Times of London, they called it the most important social policy issue of the current term. As I said, as I look back, it was miraculous that we got the bill through the legislature. And you know something else that was miraculous? That it continued while all the litigation went on. Thank God for those judges that did not honor the injunction that the opponents wanted to see put in place to kill the program. The program continued during those years of litigation. You know, I'm humbled that many people give me credit for the scholarship program. But as I look back on my career, and I've been doing a lot of that lately, I fully realize that I've been blessed with loved ones, friends, and fellow workers who made possible any accomplishments I have achieved. Our success, I believe, was due to the two mottos that I've held dearly. One is the one we started here in Cleveland, together we can do it, and our state motto, with God, all things are possible. And the Attorney General, Betty Montgomery, made sure that we were able to put that motto at the front of the State House, weren't you, Betty? We won that case. I take no credit for the Supreme Court decision. We were blessed with an outstanding Attorney General, Betty Montgomery, and Judith French, her chief counsel. Ken, that's the little girl that somebody was talking about, 5'1", who studied and worked hard. We had Clint Bullock of the Institute of Justice, Ken Starr, former Solicitor General of the United States, and Theodore Olson, who is the current Solicitor General of the United States, arguing on behalf of President George W. Bush. And you know something, I can't help it, as I was reading about the case, I just wonder what would have happened if President Obama had been President of the United States and that case was before the Supreme Court. And they had many friends of the court who filed briefs, and one of them was Cleveland's own councilman from the Huff neighborhood, Fannie Lewis. How many of you remember the name Fannie Lewis? I see it. Let me say it. I referred to Fannie Lewis as the mayor of Huff. And Ken Patman, not too many councilmen call me, but I'll tell you one thing. When she called, I listened, and we would meet. And Billy Batchelder, when we would meet, we'd pray first, and then we'd talk. I'll never forget that she didn't take a walk, folks. There were many people in Cleveland that took a walk on this issue. And they were pressured. They were pressured by the unions to not support it, even though in their hearts they thought it was the right thing to do. But not Fannie Lewis. She stepped up, as she had done on so many occasions, and put it on the line and supported the legislation, saying, I'm not trying to force legislation, I'm trying to save the children. And she led 300 city Cleveland parents, and you parents are very important to a State House rally to support the Cleveland Scholarship and Tutoring Plan. You know, I'm sure Fanny's looking down on us right now from heaven with a big smile on her face, knowing that between the Cleveland Scholarship and Tutoring Program, the Education Choice Scholarship Program, the Autism Scholarship Program that we heard such eloquent testimony about, and the state's new John Peterson Special Needs Scholarship Program, that 24,000 students in the state of Ohio are taking advantage of the program. Fannie Lewis was an extraordinary human being and left an indelible mark on me, the city of Cleveland, and the people she touched. One of the days that I'll never forget, this is a story of, I'm getting old, I'm telling stories now, okay? But one of the days that I will never forget in my entire life, and I get goosebumps thinking about it, was when Fannie and I went through the front door of the Union Club. And the Union Club, folks, was a club at one time that even the wives of the members had to go in the back door. The only people that could get in were the members in the front door. And of course, no African Americans could get in, and at that time, there were no Jewish people that were able to come in. But Fannie Lewis and I came in the front door, walked up the steps, came into a room where we were raising money for Lexington Village. Many of you remember Lexington Village? It was the first market rate housing in Huff. It was the area where we had the Huff riots in '98, and we got the money. I will never forget it as long as I live. And Betty, thank you for asking me to be here tonight to talk a little bit about Fannie. I'm truly honored to be part of this program, and I thank all of you here this evening for supporting school choice and making a difference in the lives of thousands of our young people so that they could develop their God-given talents, so that they can take care of themselves, so that they can take care of their families, and so they can make a contribution to our society. God bless you for all that you do, and thank all of you, all of the principals here. Tommy, Davey should be here tonight. Dave Brennan should be here. Let's keep Dave Brennan in our prayers. Dave Brennan, I have to tell you, folks, that without Dave, we wouldn't be here tonight. He's an extraordinary human being that a long time ago, because of the wealth that he had, he could have walked away and spent hours on the golf course or doing something else, and he decided to make the passion of his life to make a difference in the lives of children because he understood how important it was to his community and to the future of our nation. And he knew, like I know, that America cannot exist where half the kids in our urban school districts drop out of school. Thank God for school choice. And Dave Brennan.